Hey everyone, I hope everyone's having a good day slash week so far. I want to bring something to you and make y'all think on something that's a little controversial, but I want to bring it to you from a biblical perspective and kind of take apart and basically show you how something that is commonly believed is actually untrue. So I'm going to take from the story of Elisha whenever he asked the Father to open his eyes, and so he can see, all the heavenly chariots that are surrounding them to basically fight a battle for them. So, as we know, we all have spiritual sight. Many of us only aren't able to see it, or aren't able to see in a spiritual sense, because first off, there's and this is just how I currently view things. There's two different spiritual sights. There's one where you're able to kind of see spiritually, metaphorically, symbolically in scripture, see parallels, that kind of thing. And then there's also this spiritual sight of actually seeing in the spirit, angels, demons, and the like, that kind of thing. And then, when it comes to the third eye, it's commonly believed that that is something that the enemy creates and allows us to see things against the Father's will. But here's the thing, though, is that the enemy cannot create anything. He only takes what already exists and distorts it. He cannot create anything himself. Only the Father and Jesus did that. So, and we can clearly see that him twisting truth with Adam and Eve. But there is nothing in scripture that says or shows that the enemy creates anything. So let's go to the story in 2 Kings 6, and I'm going to read I'll read 11 through 17 to give kind of the entire context of everything. So 2 Kings 6, 11 through 17. Now the heart of the king of Aram was enraged over this thing, and he called his servants and said to him, "Will you tell me how much of us is for the king of Israel?" And one of his servants said, "No, my lord, O king. But Elisha the prophet who is in Israel tells the king of Israel the words you speak in your bedroom." So he said, "Go and see where he is, that I may send and take him." And it was told him, saying, "Behold, he is in Dothan. He sent horses and chariots and a great army there, and came by night and surrounded the city." 15. Now when the attendant of the man of God had risen early and gone out, behold, an army of horses and chariots was circling the city. And his servant said to him, "Alas, my master, what shall we do?" So he answered, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Then Elijah prayed and said, "O Lord, I pray, open his eyes and he may see." And the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he saw, behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. Okay, so I'm going to break this thing down, so this may be a little bit of a long video. From the stories I've been told, and it's not my personal experiences, but from the experiences I've been told, and there are several of them, people say that Elisha's servants here saw the chariots, but clearly they're incorrect because the scripture says that he didn't. So when it comes to spiritual side, actually seeing the heavenly hosts, angels, and even seeing the enemy's hosts, demons, and all that, it is very clear that the Father opened up this guy's sight to see into that realm whenever Elisha prayed for it. Now, I also know that, and this is actually coming from personal experience, I personally don't remember because it's blocked from my memory, but if you actually go back in my previous videos, I've actually talked about dealing with this as a child. When children are born, from infant all the way up to a certain age, I'm guessing about 6 or 7-ish, generally they actually do see angels. They are able to see into that realm, angels and demons, and I know of people who have seen demons at that age and were terrified basically. So we are born with that sight. It's natural for us. We are supposed to see that sight. But then as we grow older, it's the corruption of the world that basically takes it away. So for those who say, that the enemy, gives us the third eye to open our sight, but the thing is that the concept is universal. It's in many different spiritual beliefs and whatnot, and I have seen a lot of parallels in different spiritual beliefs and different religions that parallel the spiritual sight. And so if the enemy cannot create anything, then the third eye is just another name for the spiritual sight, which they, that some just don't have the same Christian terminology. So, with that being true, that the enemy cannot create anything, he only kind of takes and turns and twists things. That means that those who are not in the Christian realm, who want to have that sight, the enemy then comes to them and opens that sight for them. But they have the wrong intentions. They're not going for it for a godly purpose. So, and that's right there is what opens them up for a lot of demonic stuff. But I personally do know several people who have seen, including myself, or regularly see in that dimension, in that whatever you want to call it. I think it's just a different dimension or whatever. And that they've either had it all their life, or that the Lord has reopened it for them. So, back to the scripture. It's clear in this scripture that since in 15 the servant was freaking out because he saw all the enemy's chariots and men, he didn't see the angelic host. Elisha saw the angelic host, which means that he already had the sight. And since he wasn't freaking out and he was at peace about seeing this stuff, that means that he has regularly seen in this sight for who knows how long. So whenever Elisha prays that his servant's eyes were open, it was meaning that he was able to see in the spirit. He's able to see this angelic host. And that's what brought him peace. And the Lord did that. Now, of course, people are going to say, the Lord did it just for that one time. Again, Elisha saw that. And I'm not going to tell all the different stories of all the people who saw the stuff. But it's clear right here in Scripture that, that it's supposed to be a normal thing. I've seen them. and they're not, and I've seen the other side, and they're not pretty, but I know people who have seen both sides. So the fact that it's commonly said that the third eye is a demonic thing, no, it's not. It's, Jesus created. John 1. Everything that has been created by Jesus. And there was nothing that was created that wasn't created by Jesus. So we gotta get past this. We gotta get rid of that bad teaching that the enemy created this third eye, when no, it's just a different name for the spiritual sight. In Christendom, we call it spiritual sight. Read this. So I encourage y'all, read the story for yourselves. Speak with the Father, and get rid of that religious spirit. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this this little bit of a teaching here, and kind of revealing what is true versus what is traditionally taught. But everyone, take care. Thank you for taking the time and watching this video. I want to encourage you to like and subscribe to this channel to help boost the ratings, and prayerfully consider supporting this channel. I personally believe that God is rising up the smaller ministries to do a big job in His kingdom, and this is not possible without support from His children, us. If you would, go to my website, www.thegothicmystic.com. There you'll find a variety of videos, my blog, services I offer, and ways to support. Again, thank you for your time.